So here you are in your beautiful form. Here you are holding yourself and this world and this earth and this life holding you. So what is that about? What is that about? Why are we here in this form and being held, and why are we doing this life and this world and all these people and all this stuff? What is that about? We might sit for a long time and try and gather what it is about, but it's very hard from our own personal experience to say what is this life about until I move into it. And the moment I move into this life, and the moment I begin to participate and integrate, connect and collide with this life, then I'm receiving feedback and information. My form interprets it. My brain, my mind use it in some way and assimilate that information, put the little pockets all over the place. Storage cabinets for things that came through the visual space and the auditory space, and everything gets popped into these little pockets of convenience. And then the hippocampus goes and says, okay, come treasures, let's take a little information here, a little information here, and it pulls little bits of this information that we've fed ourselves, and it gives us a story. And we go, oh yes, that's exactly how it was. But that's also not truth, because we were not able at any time, and we are still not yet able to perceive all the details and all the information by that simple glance. If you were to test yourself on this, and I know we played these games with children when I was teaching, it was such a fun game to play with them, and you'd put a whole lot of little toys and little objects on a tray, and you say to them, now look at those and put them in your memory. And then they'd sit there and they'd scrutinize, look, and there's a little duck, and there's a little ostrich, and there's a lion, and there's a zebra, and they would look at all these little toys, and there's a block, and they would put them all in their mind, and then you cover it up with a cloth. And then they would say, you would say to them, so who can remember all the things that are underneath here? And it's really difficult, it's really challenging, very challenging for us as adults as well, to remember all the items that are there, and you can keep adding in and adding in. Well, as in this human life, oh my gosh, we got so much information. There is no way that you can bring all of this input into your being. You'd be absolutely doolally pop. You could not. The overwhelm would just finish you off. So there is a selectivity to what it is that we can bring in. So some comes in here, some comes in there, some comes here. We pick up a little bit, just enough to know the story. So what does that mean? What does that mean for this beautiful human being? For the way that we work and be in this world? So what are we going to do here? How are we going to manage that story now? Because if we are only picking up little bits, just enough to make enough of a story, is it possible that we are missing a whole bunch of stuff, that we're just not seeing it? Not because it cannot be seen by us, it is there. Different people will have different interpretations about the same thing. We'll pick up and perceive different things. So here we are in our form. That can only do a limited amount of receiving this information and accumulating and assimilating it into this being. So how are we going to manage? How are we going to get all the information so that when we are reflecting, we've got the better picture, we got the full picture, not just a few little pieces of the puzzle and go, oh yes, I'll put these 3 or 4 pieces in here. Oh, that looks like a beautiful, oh yes, I think it's a river scene. Okay, don't need to do that puzzle because I'm sure it's a river scene. Been in there, done that. But when we're doing a puzzle, we gather all those little bits. We want to complete the whole picture. And it's very disappointing if one little piece has been eaten by the dog and then you can't finish your beautiful image. It's a little bit like that. These gaps are what we hold in our cognitive awareness. And we are living in those gaps. We are living in those spaces where it is incomplete. We have not got the full picture, and yet we can expand our energy out in this most incredible way. We can extend it and expand it, and we can see and record and know and understand so much more. But we limit ourselves to just enough. So what is just enough for you? How much is just enough for you? How much are you willing to see and hear and understand? How much are you willing to believe? And how much of what you are believing is truth? So start to reprogram from this day, my lovelies. If we could just start resetting, rethinking what it is that we know, what we believe we know for certain, what isn't absolute certainty. It's like this and that's it, because I saw it. No, you didn't. You saw a fragment of it, and your mind created a whole scenario, a whole story around those fragmented bits. It's not the whole story. And we are not being given the whole story right now. We cannot rely on the media and all the stuff that is being thrown at us, telling us what to believe and see. And you know you are being manipulated when it's played in a loop. Because the more you see just a fragment, the more your mind attaches other things to it. Allow yourself this luxury of coming out of that space that holds you captive, that confines you, and makes you think and believe in a certain way. Come out of that and find other ways to connect through your form into this energy field with all the other people, the other forms that are here, and find a way to transform what it is that you are experiencing with one another. I'm going to hold this set of awarenesses and I'm going to share them with you. And you can say, oh yes, okay, that resonates. Oh no, that doesn't resonate. And that's absolutely perfect. But if I don't share something with you, then that which I have seen and been and known and understood because I was willing to have this crazy life experience with all the stuff that came in for my life. But I can share it because there's something I know, but it's not everything. It's only a little bit. A little bit of what I can tell you and share with you, and I share it with you with love, not to convince you that you need to do something else, but to give you another opportunity to think and see and hold another thought. Perhaps there is so much more. Perhaps we can reach that so much more. And so we could do this in our communities and our collective gatherings. We could share what it is that we are seeing and experiencing. And wouldn't it be an amazing world for us to move ourselves into if we could do that in a way that honors every single soul? That we could value diversity. And that we can see the story that we created as separation so that we could see. The best way to see anything is when it is contrasting, black and white. That's when we really see something. Imagine if we use this mechanism that we've created a separation out of to expand our consciousness and to bring us into this incredible place of awareness, of full awareness, because we're willing to see something else, to ignite and open up those parts of our brain that give us the ability to see more. Wouldn't that be a gift for us to do? To give, to honor, to hold each other in a whole and a new way. Yes, I would just so love that. I would just love it. In our form, we can transform.